Well, hello, everyone. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. We're here again with Sandy Kreisberg, HBS guru. We are here with Fridays with Sandy, which is when we handicap and talk to active candidates about where they want to go and what their chances are. Today we have Dakota, who's calling in from his parents' home in New Jersey, my hometown, my home state, that is. He's got a 720 GMAT, a 3.6 from Vassar, econ major. He's got a really interesting work background. He worked initially for PIMCO as a senior account associate, and a year and a half ago he joined Uber, where he is strategic operations manager. He was captain of his varsity baseball team at Vassar. That's a big deal. He even designed the internship program at PIMCO. His targets: Wharton, Booth, Duke, London Business School, and Berkeley Haas. Sandy, what do you think?
Okay, we got a 3.6 from Vassar, which is gold alloy. We got a 720 GMAT, which is actually acceptable, but a little below average for guys like you. We've got two classy companies, PIMCO and Uber. So depending on how you can spin this story, about what you do with those companies, what your career trajectory is with the 3.6 and the 720, you should be certainly in line. You should get into Booth, Duke, LBS, and Haas with serviceable, one of my favorite words, serviceable execution.
Now, Sandy, you think he's aiming a little too low. You think he has
I think there's an outside chance at HBS. Sure, we got a white male, which ain't a great start. But after that, we've got the 3.6, 720, and two classy,
highly selective companies.
Highly selective brand name companies, and you have Dakota. Why don't you see? Let's see how well you can present yourself. Tell us. Why don't you introduce yourself real fast and tell us your career trajectory. See if you can summarize that.
Yeah, of course. And hi, everyone. Thank you both for having me. My name is Dakota. I'm from New Jersey. I played baseball at Vassar College. I worked for 3 years at an asset management firm, PIMCO, in the institutional client management group. And for the past year and a half, I've been working at strategy and operations at Uber. In terms of career goals, I'd love to do a combination of both PIMCO and Uber. PIMCO, very client-facing. Would love to get back to something like that. And Uber has effectively been a crash course in consulting. So I'd love to do some more formal training and consulting after the fact at an MBB firm, Bain, BCG, McKinsey, and then long-term work as a COO for a fitness and nutrition and exercise company.
Okay, we're calling you Mr. Barbell here.
Well, we can tell. Look, he's lean and mean, man.
Yeah. Tell us what working for Uber is like and why you went there.
Yeah, the job at Uber is very varied. I would say it's very project-based, and I think the easiest way to describe it, I'm effectively an internal consultant for their rides business. There's three main goals: grow the rider demand, driver supply, and then maintain balance between the two.
Yeah, all right. You lost me there. Say you're an internal consultant for Uber.
Okay.
And then see if you could tell us what that means without the jargon.
Okay, definitely.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, sure. So growing rider demand is typically introducing new products. You may have used something like Uber Comfort, Uber XL, or Car Seat. Driver supply is figuring out ways to get people to continue driving with Uber, something that's been challenging during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then I usually focus on partnerships. So working with health organization, transit organizations like the MTA to figure out how we can get rides to more people across cities.
All right. John, what's the best thing he has going for him in your mind? The 3.6, the 720, the PIMCO, or the Uber?
I think both companies on his resume are gold. They're hot companies. PIMCO's, very well established.
Yeah. PIMCO, if folks don't know it, PIMCO is a really big deal in investment management.
Hard to get a gut job there.
The schools know it.
A hot company, obviously, and what's making your job more interesting is the pandemic.
That's true too.
And that makes you hotter as well.
But I think his real plus is Uber, since that's You say people from Uber don't typically go to business school. Is that right, Dakota?
No, it's pretty uncommon. People come after business school, but not traditional to go from Uber to business school.
So, right. So what a dean of admission is imagining is we're going to put a guy from Uber in our classroom in a case setting environment. And this guy can bring to bear his experiences at Uber, which is a complicated, hot, growing, consumer-facing company now facing a pandemic, dealing with things like keeping their drivers. That's an unusual job for a company to keep their employees. So the Uber thing is the thing I would really stress. Your experience, when you present yourself, I would say, I was always interested in being an impactful leader and blah, blah. And my, however many months it'll be when you write the application, my 18 months at Uber has really been transformational. I've gotten to experience 1, 2, and 3. That's the way I'd present yourself. Uber is the strongest thing you've got going. The other stuff is gold alloy, and Uber is gold.
Yeah, and at an incredibly challenging time when the ridership is way off. I think the latest quarterly results came out. There was a 29% decline in revenue at Uber, and it would be much worse if not for service deliveries. So, you've been in a really interesting spot, which makes you even more valuable to a business school.
You're the guy who knows and knows and knows. John knows all this stuff. 7 years.
I read a lot.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Good. Okay. I think you should get. I'm sorry if I said this before. Your goals, your schools you want to go to are Booth, Duke, LBS, and Haas. Man, shouldn't you get into those places, John?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Wharton. I think
but one thing I would say, I don't know why Chicago Booth as opposed to Kellogg, which has a clear path into MBB.
Yeah, good point. You should think about Kellogg.
Yeah,
why do you want to go to Booth?
Man, they would love you there.
Yeah, you'd be a walk-in at Kellogg. Why do you want to go to Booth? Is that special, or you just?
I think from an academic standpoint, I think it's very similar to Vassar, very flexible and open, which I really like. And I also know
the core curriculum is very flexible. Given the fact that you're an econ major, I don't think you're gonna pass up many of the core courses anyway.
Okay.
Anyway,
Kellogg's more your thing, giving you goals and who you are.
Yeah, go visit these places if these schools are still entertaining. Kellogg is a possibility.
What do you think? Okay, what about this? He's got a 720 GMAT. We know the median at Harvard Business School is 730. We know he has a shot at Harvard. Should he retake the GMAT, or is it a waste of time?
Well, I'll throw that question back to you, John. What does the 740 do for him at all his schools?
It pretty much, I would think it seals the deal, but it
really helps at Wharton. A 740 would really help at Wharton.
We know it shouldn't seal the deal for him because it really makes no difference. 720, 740, 730. I mean, it bothers me to say that he should have to retake the GMAT, but I do know.
He doesn't have to retake it. I'm just throwing it out there as tough love.
I know.
What do you think? This is a very interesting question. What does a 740 do for him? I think it makes a difference.
I think it makes a difference too, and I hate that.
We both hate to admit it, but
I hate it.
Yeah, well, everybody hates it, but it's true. Okay. The admissions office will say they hate it, but they're getting pressure from the deans because of the magazine rankings. Okay?
Right.
So that's life. It's real tough love, Dakota. If 740 could help you a lot get into Wharton, could give you a shooting shot at Harvard. And could it make a difference for money, John?
I don't think so. Because PIMCO, Uber, white male, unlikely.
That he's going to get a scholarship anyplace. That's what I meant.
Maybe a little one.
Yeah. All right. So that's the real question, the 740. Other than that, it's just execution and getting your story straight.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to write an essay that puts all this together.
So how should he write the Harvard essay to let Harvard know what the application doesn't already reveal about him?
It's what I say to everybody. The way to write the Harvard essay is to isolate 3 or 4 key influences in your life. Those could be people, those could be jobs, and those could be accomplishments. So if you had a parent or a professor or a person at a job site who was a big, you go, I want to be, this is the outline of it. Okay, this is the boring outline. My goal is to be an impactful leader, particularly in areas like this and this. And that goal is the result of several influences. The first important influence on me was, like, who would you pick? Would you want to write about your parents being an influence, or a professor, or a supervisor, Dakota?
I think for me, I'll have to think about how to craft this a bit more. My parents come to mind immediately. My dad was a detective in NYPD, and my mom works in a school, so I think they've been hugely impactful.
Yeah, so those are, I would say my parents have been tremendous influences because they interface with the public, they help people, and those are values that I've kind of picked up through watching them and doing things with them.
But he shouldn't lead with that, right?
No, I'm just telling you what the chunks of substance are. How you actually weave it together.
Lead with his experience at Uber, because as you pointed out earlier, that's his leverage point.
Yeah, they'll read the whole essay. It's lead with whatever you're comfortable with.
Lead with the best stuff. That's what journalists do.
I also think the baseball leadership is important.
Yeah, that's actually pretty important.
How could you present that?
Yeah,
how would you? Here's a question for you. This is like an interview question. How has your baseball career impacted your style as a leader?
I think for baseball, I actually don't know if it's specific to baseball, but I think it was a good case in point example of leading by example. You have 20 to 35 people on a team from different regions to get people to go to the weight room or get people to stay focused in practice while also going in classes. You very much have to be the leading example for them to follow.
That doesn't make sense. They don't know if you're going to class or not. You're not leading by example. What you're doing was you're leading different people in different ways. How diverse was the team? You go, being the captain of the baseball team was an important experience to me. The baseball team had a number of different types of people, both geographically and whatever the racial breakdown was, and I had to make sure that they kept their grades up. I had to make sure that they were on board with this and that. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Did you do any of that?
You go to how it opens your mind to different people from different places that maybe you were never exposed to before, and how it gave you appreciation.
Yeah. What was the diversity? What was the diversity on the baseball team?
Yeah, I think the main diversity was geographic diversity.
Okay.
Not as racially diverse, but geographic, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What position did you play?
I was a catcher.
Oh man,
Wow.
That's a rough job.
Yeah,
But
you got to
that's a
keep
good
changing
job.
your clothes.
That's a
And squatting.
strategic job. You're calling every damn pitch in the game.
Agreed.
Plus you're taking all the abuse back there. How many times you get hit in the head with a foul ball, huh?
It's too many to count.
Yeah,
I
right.
also had to deal with some headstrong pitchers.
Because pitchers are egomaniacs.
Well,
All right.
They don't like taking advice from people like me, right?
Well, hey, we're rooting for you, and we want you to aim higher with at least one.
Here the takeaways are: apply to Kellogg, maybe apply to HBS if you got enough starch left in you, and I think your chances at Kellogg, Booth, Duke, LBS, Haas are serviceable
Really good.
execution. You should get into those places. Don't blow the interview.
40+%, 50%, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I see. Yeah, that
Yeah.
right,
At Harvard, 25%. A 1 in 4 shot is worth it. Go for
right.
it.
Wharton
No
is
shame
like
in getting
30.
rejected.
Wharton is like 35%.
Yeah. So
What
good
you
for
have
you.
to do is really get your story straight. That's
Yeah, you got
why.
to tell it well and
Yeah,
smart.
that's why you have to be able to combine the baseball and the PIMCO and the Uber experiences. And as
And your
John,
parents' influence.
the Uber experience is really important.
Yeah, it really is. That's your leverage, really, I think. PIMCO, everyone knows, you know, and they get it and they know how highly selective it is. The challenges that you've helped deal with at Uber, huge. So,
Right. So you got a lot of raw material here. You just got to get it together in just
package it.
a serviceable way, man. Whatever way you want to do it, but you've got a lot going for you. This is real.
Come on, it's a ninth inning. You know, you're behind the plate. It's a 3-2 count, 3-2 count. Guys at second base ready to score against your team. If he scores, you lose the game.
Yeah, that's helpful, John.
Okay, there you are. That's your Harvard application, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck. Sandy, thank you as always.
Adios.
It's Fridays with Sandy. This is John Byrne of Poets and Quants. Sandy Kreisberg you're still in Maine, aren't you?
I'm in Maine at the moment, yeah.
Oh, how lovely. Boy, I'm jealous, okay? I'm still in lockdown in California.
Yikers.
Really, Dakota's in lockdown in his parents' house. So, hey, enjoy.